circle here. Good morning. I'm back, and this is my third video in my 30-day challenge. And in this series, I'm talking about challenges that I have experienced on my personal road to transformation and sustainable weight loss. So, I guess I should call it my 30-day challenge. 30 days of challenge. I digress. Today, I'm talking about being attached to a system that's not actually working for you. So, a little background on me. The first time I really had success that was significant enough to me that it kind of directed my attention for the next 10, 15 years of my life, was in my late teens. I was ending high school. I found success with a non-system really, called intuitive eating. So I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but intuitive eating is basically the idea that if you simply eat when you're hungry and stop eating when you're full, your body is naturally capable of keeping you at a healthy weight. Now, more background on me. My family, there are several people in my family that are obese. So yesterday, I know I talked with Anna Maria online, and we were talking about definitions and how important they are. And I think with intuitive eating especially, this is where definitions really become important. A healthy weight is very different to different people. So high school Sarah, who looked around and saw her family as obese, when I first lost some weight, I looked around and I was like, haha, I am not going to be obese. This is success. And it was success. And intuitive eating got me to a point where I knew there was never going to be a point where I just ballooned up and gained all this weight, because it helped me have a healthy relationship with food to a certain degree. Over time, though, two things happened. One, I realized that although I was at a healthy weight, I wasn't actually at a weight that I wanted to be. How many of you would just love to have some abs showing through? Not necessarily intense abs, but you just like to see a little muscle definition, right? Never, ever, ever with intuitive eating was I able to see any kind of muscle definition like what I wanted to see. And then what happened is, because this system of mine was kind of a non-system in many ways, it ultimately morphed into other things. So it morphed into clean eating, which again, different people have very different definitions of that. It's a very broad term. So my definition was, okay, try not to eat any processed food. So no sodas, no fast food. It needs to be organic as best as you can, and as much to whatever extent you can afford it. But then over time that began to morph. So I knew intuitive eating worked because the premise on which it worked is the same premise that most weight loss works. Less calories in, more energy out. But because I didn't have a way of actually calculating that, over time that actually morphed into disordered eating. My intuitive eating turned into under eating, and my clean eating turned into eating a very limited number of food, and also turned into eating in a very imbalanced way. Like, if you can only eat 5 foods, you're not going to be getting the amount of nutrition, balanced nutrition that you need. So this is what a day in the life of Sarah would look like at the height of this. I would wake up in the morning, and when I sat down to eat my breakfast, because I was trying to eat intuitively, can't eat too much, you don't want to get too full, don't be full at all actually, because then you might gain weight, I would end up eating just enough to not be hungry. And then that would mean in like an hour, I would be hungry again. So because of this, I was very diligent I knew if I left the house and didn't have food with me, at some point I would become ravenous. But if I was out of the house and didn't have food with me, that became problematic because my options for eating were very limited. Cannot, under any circumstances, stop by a fast food place. Fast food is the devil. You can't eat there. Eating at a gas station is just, don't even get me started. I mean, if they have like an Epic bar or a Kind bar there, I can eat that, but nothing else. I'd have to go to specific places to get food, and it was incredibly restrictive. Also, keep in mind that this whole time, one of the things that was so appealing to me about clean eating and intuitive eating is that it supposedly opened up my options for what I could eat. But in action, in reality, I was eating in an incredibly disordered way. So what this would turn into is when I left the house, if I knew I was going to be gone for more than like an hour, I never left the house without snacks with me. And those snacks were very specific snacks. So we're talking like a handful of cashews, maybe a handful of plantain chips. P.S. Both of those items are in fact Whole30 approved. So if you know anything about the Whole30 diet, you can see how Sarah back then would have associated that with, oh, this is good food. Never questioned whether that was enough food. So I would have these little packets. I was like a soccer mom. I would have these little packets of food with me, and inevitably I would get hungry and I would eat them, and then I would get hungry again. And then the hunger would turn into hanger. And then it was like alarms were going off and you had to get me home as quickly as possible because that home is where Sarah's food was. And it was too difficult to find anything to eat outside of the home. So, inevitably, what would happen, because I would eat so little throughout the day, I would get home and I would graze. So I would be eating small little bits, all throughout the evening. But what would end up happening is the majority of my calories that I was intaking was at the end of the evening. So right before you're about to be the most sedentary, which isn't in and of itself bad. However, I had no idea what I was eating. I had no idea what I was thinking. I was eating these small volumes of food, but then I would just end up grazing. And then I would wake up the next day no leaner than I was the day before. And I would repeat the cycle all over again. I wouldn't eat full meals. I would eat itty bitty meals and then I would have to snack. And then ultimately I was eating a snacking lifestyle and I was eating, like seriously, maybe 5 foods total. It was messed up. I'm just going to say. Also, it made eating very unpleasant for me because at any point I'm like, am I eating the right thing? Look at the ingredients. Oh no, this has more than 5 ingredients in it. Ah! It was a dogma is what it really turned into. Fast forward to today. I eat full meals. I am happy to say I am a 3 meal a day kind of person. When I wake up hungry and I want a big old breakfast. My meals completely satisfy me. So what that means is I no longer have to travel with snacks. I am no longer soccer mom lady, which is, soccer moms are great, but you don't want to have to bring little snack bags of Cheerios for you. You want to bring that for your baby, not for you. I also know the reason I don't have to carry those snacks around is I know I'm not going to get hungry for hours. And I know when I do get hungry, it's not going to turn to hunger. I'll just be hungry and I'll need to go get food somewhat soon. I also know that if I get hungry, I will be able to find food that both nourishes me and moves me in the direction of my goals, whether I'm at home or on a road trip. If I need to eat at McDonald's, I can do it and I'm not going to go off of my goals. Yay! I also know I won't die. That's a good thing. When I eat, I feel fully in the moment. So it's not just like, stave off the hunger, quick, the demons are coming out. Now it's, oh man, this food is delicious. How delicious this is. I'm also not comparing what I eat with others, worrying that like, wait, they look healthy. Look at the food they're eating. Am I eating that food? Should I be eating that food? I fully enjoy what I eat, as well as the actual action of eating. This might sound kind of funny, and maybe some of you might be like, I don't know if that's a good thing, but for me, eating is a hobby. So I enjoy it like I enjoy my other hobbies. I don't do it all the time, but when I do it, I'm in it to win it. So what got me to this point? What do I do now? Number one, I prioritize full meals. So no longer sitting down and like, okay, I can only eat till this point and this point and this point. After I figure out, I've shared with you the last few days how I figured out what I should be eating, the amount I should be eating. After I figured that out, super easy, all I did was I took the amount of calories that I should be eating in the day and I divided it by 3. So at each meal, it's not that I'm trying to hit the specific calorie target. I just generally know, okay, this is the amount of calories that I should be eating. And then that way I can eat, I can be satisfied, I won't be hangry. And then finally, I prioritize high protein foods in my meals because I know that they provide a longer lasting fullness while keeping the calorie count low. So that means I get a big old plate of food that I get to enjoy. I'm just gonna say, although plantain chips are Whole30 approved, you cannot live on plantain chips alone. You will get so hungry if that is what you're eating. So friends, that is it for me today. That was my challenge, was being attached to the system, but I just needed somebody to be able to look at the system with me and say, like, Sarah, is this really serving you? Are you getting that muscle definition that you want? If you want to learn more about my specific path, don't forget July 4th. I'm going to be doing a webinar, but definitely comment below. Are you doing a system right now that you're like, but I swear it got me goals before, but it's no longer getting you those goals? It might be worth writing that down in a journal and asking yourself, is this really serving me anymore? What am I identifying myself with this way of eating? What if I didn't? What would that look like? Comment below. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. And we'll see you guys. I'll either see you at the gym sometime today or I will see you tomorrow on my live video. Bye, friends.